Hey everybody, it's CheckTheFX coming at you with another Minecraft tutorial, and today we're going to be going over a first in the Minecraft community, the very first fully automated networked item sorter. That's right, you heard me right, networked. In other words, this thing can talk to other contraptions. If you haven't seen my tutorial on networking contraptions in Minecraft, please do check my previous episode, my previous tutorial, before going on in order to understand the concept. So without further ado, let's get to the tutorial. So let's see here, we have a chest here with an item frame above it with a diamond in it. So I'm guessing there must be diamonds in here, but there's no light on. Let's open up and see what's inside. Nothing. I wonder what's going on here. I got some diamonds on me. Let me go ahead and put some inside here. Go to close. Hey, the light turned on. Nice. And hey, okay, you know what? I'm just go ahead and I gotta take this out now. What the heck? Let's see what I'm gonna do here. Hey, I heard a click sound. Did you hear that? Let's see what's behind this thing. I'm gonna go ahead and stick these diamonds back in. Let's see here. There we go. Okay, my light's back on. I'm gonna go ahead and put these back in my inventory. Let's see what's behind here. Whoa, okay. We've got quite a lot happening behind here. Yeah. This is pretty large for an item sorter, if you do think. So like I said, this is the very first design that you'll see here on YouTube that has to do with a networked item sorter. This device, this contraption, not only sorts items, but it can also talk to other items. It also prevents any type of item overflow for the chest. So if this chest ends up with too many items and then more items start going in, guess what? All the excess items get dumped and sent off to a larger storage facility that's off-site. And when there's too few items in here, let's say this thing goes empty, then what happens is it'll request items be sent back from that storage facility, all that's off-site, and be brought back here, and then your items get sent back into here. So the amount of capacity you have for this is, well, as much as you need it to be, or as much as you want it to be. Plus, the way that this is designed, well, let's be honest, shulker boxes in survival mode are extremely expensive. They're hard to get, they're hard to find. You have to go onto the end in order to find them. This way we have only the items themselves and no shulker boxes showing to the end user. Especially if you're using this in a multiplayer server, you don't want some new player coming around and opening this up and seeing just shulker boxes and then looking at this and saying, oh hey, this is great. Let's say you have a shulker box in here. Oh hey, I got a shulker box in here. And it doesn't matter if there's dirt in here. If there's just dirt in there, they're going to take the shulker box, empty all the dirt, and just use the shulker box, right? Because the shulker box is probably more worth than what's inside the chest itself. So this way, we only have the users getting to the items that we want them to get at. And the shulker boxes are used at another location for our off-site storage, making our capacity far more higher for storage, but at the same time, keeping our shulker boxes safe. Now, your overall dimensions for this build is 3 blocks wide by 10 to 12 blocks long by 8 to 9 blocks high. Now the variation depends on whether or not you're going to use a hopper pipe or a water stream or rails even for this particular build. Now I mentioned here that this thing, it talks to items and all the other features that are there. So let's take a look behind the hood or under the hood here as to what happens here. So first of all, I've color coded this a bit so it's a little bit easier to visualize. So the quartz section here, this is your primary item sorter. It's just your old-fashioned item sorter that's there, and this goes into a chest that then feeds into another set of hoppers that goes into this chest here in the front. So this is basically when you have a little bit of overflow, it starts going into this chest over here. Then what happens is if this thing gets full, you'll notice that there is a comparator here which then has a redstone current going into this block, which feeds into this torch. When this torch turns off, and when the comparator turns on, this torch will turn off, and this redstone current, which is currently feeding over here and into this hopper and keeping this hopper locked, thus preventing items from going through, that torch is this torch here is going to deactivate, turn this line off, and this line is going to then have the hopper turn on, and it's going to suck the items out of this chest and then send them off to whatever storage facility you might have, symbolized by this trap chest here. Now, for a little note here in regards to this tutorial, the trap chests that are here, like this one, you can see the red tinge on them around the handle right around here where my crosshairs are circling. You can see the red tinge on those. Those are trap chests. So this one there, this one over there, this one here, and the one down there, those are all trap chests. Also, any blocks or any sections that are made with sandstone are just for demonstration purposes. These are not actually part of the build itself. At the same time, we also have a comparator over here that's testing the items that are in this chest. This comparator feeds into this redstone torch, which then feeds into this redstone dust, which feeds into this torch, which feeds into this dust, which then feeds into this block, which makes sure this torch turns off. And then we've got a comparator monostable circuit, what I used to call a comparator SDP, that fits into this block over here, which then activates this dropper when it pulses. Now, if we look inside this dropper, you will see that we've got a bunch of items that have been renamed to diamonds needed. So let's take a look here and see what happens. So if I were to take all the items out of this this one here, but let me just take a look here. I'll show you here that this chest is empty to start off. Okay, and if I go ahead and take the items out of here, you'll hear a little tick noise. You see the bubbles that went off. That was that dropper over here activating or ticking, and you'll see it has one less now. If you look over here, you have this item is in this chest now. It says diamonds needed. This is simulating how the item gets sent off to your remote location. This is a message for it, and this is how we basically network this item to another item. Once your contraption receives the message that says diamonds needed on its end, what it'll do is it'll send your items back over to your warehouse or wherever it is that this thing's at, and it'll go back into here and it'll load all your items into your item sorter. From here, you'll see that again you have your items start to come into the chest once again, just like you do with any other item sorter. Once your items are done, you'll see all 64 items there, and then you're set to go. And of course, you'll have more items that are coming in and be received on this item sorter through here. Any items, of course, that are not diamonds in this case, or not what you want to sort, will end up going into this chest over here, or going further off into the next module. So let's go ahead and test that out. I'm going to go ahead and right click on here and put in 32 acacia saplings into this hopper. And as you can see, this filter is not activating. You can see that the repeater is not activating, and neither is the redstone torch, which means that's not activating. And then we go ahead and there's your 32 acacia saplings. But what happens if this dropper starts running out of messages? Well, not to fret about that. You don't have to go about reloading every single one. Once a message has been sent out from here and received on the other contraption's end, or on that side, and once it's done its task, it'll send this message, the diamonds needed message, back to your system over here on this pipe here, on this item pipe, or in this case we have a water trough, or if you want you can use hoppers, and it'll end up sending that over here. So let's simulate that. I'm going to take one message saying diamonds needed, and it's going to go over this here. So let's put that in the water, and you'll see it'll zip across, and then it goes into that hopper. If we were to send another message, let's say in this case fire a rocket, or whatever the case is, something that we had from one of our previous tutorials, I'm going to send another message across, and if you click that in, it just goes flying right across, and it's going to continue going on until it goes to the next module or whatever that case might be. The reason that this works is because you have a second item filter over here. You can see that quite plainly over here, and that is also set up similarly to the one for the diamonds. You can see here you have the item filter for your filler blocks. It's renamed here. These grass blocks have been renamed to filler, and you have 5 of each in the 4 slots on here, and then you have your 2 diamond blocks. Actually, when you're setting this up, you have to put in 3 diamond items in order to get this to work, because then what happens is one will go through and you end up with two afterwards. Same thing with this. In this case, you have your filler blocks here, and then you also have diamonds needed. So you have your item that has been renamed to diamonds needed on, in this case, in this section here, and that's how this one knows which item to take in for what particular message. You may also notice there are some furnaces here. Now these furnaces are optional, and they have been placed on all of the hoppers that don't have anything over them or anything on top of them, and this is just to reduce lag. And I have tested this out. On a small scale it's not very significant, but on a large scale it helps out quite a bit. So that's why I've added those on. If you want to put them on, you can. If you don't want to, it's completely up to you. I would recommend them if you're going to be using this on a server and you're going to be having a ton of hoppers, so as to reduce the lag on the server. You may also notice this section made out of purple blocks. Well, this is your maintenance section. That includes also these stained glass blocks that are here that are similar in color to the purple blocks. And what it is there, you have to see these ladders here also, and also this one over here. If I go up these ladders, then what happens is, let's say we're in survival mode, I'd be able to get up and around to almost any section and basically check on your hoppers, check on my chests. I can check on this item hopper here without having the need to fly. You can also go around here and jump up here across, and then go here, and then you can go and check out what's going on here. It's very flexible, and basically this is a very good thing to have in order to make sure that you are able to maintain this as needed. Even on this section here, you can go here and you can check on the individual hoppers over here and here if you want to, and you can see the same chest over here. Also on this side, I believe there is another chest over this one here. You can jump up here, go over this side here, and then take a look at the overflow chest, or the buffer chest for the item messages in this case. So there's a lot you can do with this, because it is a fairly large module, so to speak, because there's a lot happening here. So it's good to have a section or an area where you can do maintenance. Plus, when you stack these things, let's say you stack these things using world edit side by side, then what happens is you'll see that you have a little tunnel going through this section right through, where you can walk through this and be able to check on each and every item filter. It's also great because then you can go ahead and load these manually, and then because you can't do this with world edit, you have to keep these empty when you're doing world edit. And then also you can go over and set your filter over here, and you can go up here and set your filter over here, and be set for when you want to open up your furnace to the rest of your group, if you want to, if this happens to be something that you're going to build for a group of people. So to build this contraption, you're going to need a few of the things I'm about to mention. So you're going to need, of course, a building block, or I would recommend several different building blocks for each section, so that you can have it color coded and understand which section does what. You're also going to need some redstone torches, some repeaters, comparators, hoppers, a single dropper, a single redstone lamp, a few chests. You're also optionally going to need some furnaces. You're going to need some ladders, and of course you're going to need some slabs as well for this build. Now before we get started, as I mentioned before, I would strongly suggest that you do take a look at my tutorials on item sorters or item filters, as well as my tutorial on networking redstone contraptions in Minecraft, because of course that's going to help you with understanding how this works, this basic item filter here. And then by understanding that, and then also understanding how this works and why we're doing this, then it'll give you a better idea into understanding the overall contraption. So we're going to start off with your basic item filter. So we're going to start by building that like so. We're going to just bring this out like this, put another block on top over here, break this, we don't need those. Then we're going to take a repeater, put that in here like that. That can be at one tick. Take your redstone torch, put that over here, get a comparator, put that on top over here, then place your redstone dust, about 2 of them, 1, 2, and there you go. That's step 1. Next step is to continue on with the filter. We're going to hold on your shift key, and if you're flying, hold on both the space key and the shift key. Right click on the back of the comparator, and that's going to give you that thing facing into the comparator. So you have a hopper facing into the comparator. So next, you're going to put this out like this, bring this out like so, and break these two. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take two hoppers, bring them out like that, and then break this one over here. Next, you're going to take your chest, and we're going to take this out like so. And then we're going to take our hoppers again, and we're going to place this one out here, bring out 3 more, and then break these in this direction. And then we're going to go ahead and put these out like that, so it comes out this way. And then actually we don't have to do 3, we actually only needed to do 2, but then we're going to take this over here, another chest, bring this out here, and then bring this out over here, and there you go, you got your main primary filter. Next, we're going to build the front facade, or basically the end that's going to be facing the user. So let's go ahead and we're going to take this out here. We're going to just bring this around like so, and then bring that down, and then also going to put some blocks underneath your chest and put it out just like that. Now what you're going to do is you're going to put this out like this, another one like so, take another one and put that out here, and we're going to bring this up a couple more. So 1 2 3, 1 2 3, and there you go. Now what we're going to do is you take your slabs, and we're going to take 2 wooden oak slabs in this case, and we're going to place it like that. Now the reason why I'm putting 2 over here is because then what happens is someone peers in behind it for one way, they won't be able to see your redstone behind it. It's just basically for aesthetics. Next, we're going to take our redstone lamp, take that over here, put that in here. One thing that I forgot to mention, of course, is you're going to need an item frame. We're going to put your item frame right there, and then you're going to take your item, whatever item you want. Let's say in this case we're going to put diamonds again, and then right click on that, and now you have your item in your item frame. Next, we're going to go underneath, and we're going to break this block right over here. Then holding down your shift key, you're going to right click on the bottom of the chest, and then you're going to bring it down 1 more. Then what happens is we're going to go ahead and put another set of hoppers like this, and bring that out. This is just, you can use a hopper or a block, it doesn't really matter, whichever one you want to do, but essentially to have some block that we can then feed our pipe into, just like that. Next, I'm going to be building off the system that's going to allow this chest here to tell this system of hoppers, these 2 hoppers, when to take items out of the chest and when to keep them in. To do this, I'm going to be using another set of blocks, again color coded, just to make sure you can understand what is what in your redstone contraption. This will make things easier for troubleshooting later on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click over here, bring this out, and I'm going to break this block over here. So now I'm going to take my comparator, place it right over here up against the chest, and take some redstone dust and place it right that. Then you're going to take a redstone torch, put that down here, and then you're going to take a couple of blocks like so, and then break this one over here. Next, we're going to go ahead and continue on this line, going off like so, right up to this section over here. Then place a block on top and break these 2 over 1 and 2 right like that. Next, we're going to take your redstone dust, put your redstone dust right along here and also over here. Take 2 repeaters, 1, 2, and place them like that, putting them on full 4 ticks. To test if this mechanism is working, go ahead and open up your chest, put your items in like so, and you'll see that the items do not go through. If you want to test if the items will go through, then all we need to do is take away this single hopper over here, just for temporary purposes, and then we're just going to fill this up with whatever items we have. The moment we get a redstone signal, you'll start to see, if you open this chest, that the items are starting to get sucked out, and they'll end up in this hopper over here. If this was what happens, that means you've got your system working. Of course, remember always, if you're doing this test, to place your hopper back where it belongs. If you want to test to see if the items then go through the system without going through this particular chest and being flushed out, all you have to do is put your items into this particular chest or into this particular hopper over here, and you'll see that the items will just go past right through it into this hopper and start collecting in this particular chest right there. Next is our system that's going to tell us when this chest is empty. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and start building this with another color-coded block. In this case, I'm using dark oak wood. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a block here, place another block down here, and close this off like that. So you'll see it's lined up right behind the chest like so. So it's going to be going right through this block. If you go ahead and take this block and put it like this, and you'll see if I go ahead and put the item in here, the comparator activates. So you'll see that it'll actually activate right through this block, just like that. So I'm going to take that out. From here, we're going to take a redstone torch and place that over here. We're then going to take another building block and replace that under our redstone torch and leave a little gap like that. And then we're going to put another block underneath it and put your redstone dust on top. Over here, we're going to put a redstone torch on this side. Also, we're going to need to build a little platform that's going to go out like so. This is also going to come out to here and come out this way as well. And we're going to keep building this about 3 or 4 routes roughly. We can always test this out when we get to our monostable circuit. We're going to take our redstone dust, place it over here, and then take a redstone torch and place that over here. Then we're going to take a repeater, take a repeater, place that here, and take a redstone comparator and put that there. Next, we take some redstone dust and place that here, here, and here. That's going to create our monostable circuit. Then we can set this to any number of ticks except for 1. So like anything maybe like 2, 3, or 4 will be just fine. I'm going to set this to 4 ticks just so that we can get a solid tick out to our dropper. Then we're going to take our redstone dust and place that on top of a block like that. Next, we take our blocks and build them up like so. Put this here and take our dropper and you put the dropper right over here like so, facing in this direction, away from the monostable circuit, away from the comparator. Then we're going to go ahead and build our little water trough by building this section here like so, about 3 long. And we're also going to take some items, more water blocks over here, bring this out like so, and then we're going to take these blocks out like so. So in this case, since we're using a water trough, of course, you're going to need packed ice and also a water bucket, as well as some signs. So we're going to go ahead and build a water trough for this. If you're using hoppers, of course, you'll be just using a hopper pipe, and then this dropper would feed into the hopper pipe, going right straight through here where this gap is. It's where the water would go. Then you're going to take your sign and put it where you want the water to start, and in this case we're going to have it going in that direction, so we want to put the sign on that side there. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add some additional blocks just for demonstration purposes. Again, I'm going to be using my smooth sandstone, and I'm going to take that and push that right over here just for demonstration purposes, because I don't want water spilling off into this thing. Do not add this to your system, and also make sure that when you're adding this, that you add the water after you've done any type of world editing or using the stack command in world edit. Next, we're going to take our hoppers and place one on top of the dropper and then one on top of that. Then take your chest and place one on top of this hopper, and then place one on top, one over that side over there, so that we get a double chest that goes right across this section here in front of your filter and on top of this hopper. After that, we're going to take another hopper, put it on top of the chest right there, and another one into this one over here. Next, we're going to be building our item filter for the messaging section. So we're going to place our blocks out like that, then take one, bring it down like so, bring this one over here, out like this, and one like this, break this over here, break this over there because you don't need those two. Then again, like the same old item filter as before, we're going to take a repeater, place that over there, take your comparator, put that there, take a redstone dust, put that there, and then take your redstone torch and place that one right there. After you build this section, you're going to go ahead and hold down your shift key, or if you're flying, hold the space and shift key, aim your crosshairs at the back of the comparator and right click on that to have a hopper that faces right into this comparator like that. Next, we're going to go ahead and build our trough. So I'm going to take some packed ice, place one here and one here, and then take your building block. In this case, I'm going to be using birch wood in order to make sure that it's easy to notice. Place that on that side, and then place some on this side over here, and then of course going to take some slabs in this type in order to put that under this block like that. This is just to make sure if this does break that you don't want any water falling through this. That's why you have that slab underneath there. So just in case, you never know if the ice will melt, but typically packed ice is not as bad as regular ice. So this is a safe way to keep it that way. So I'm going to go ahead and put our blocks on here and add that to our trough like so. And then we're going to add another block here, and there we go. Next, we're going to go ahead and add our sign and put that like that. If you want, you can even add an arrow pointing in this direction so that you can know what direction it's going in. In this case, for demonstration purposes, again, I'm going to go ahead and add my sandstone block as a blocker. You're not going to put this in the real thing. And then after that, place my water. One thing I did forget, of course, is to add a hopper pipe for this one. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to go ahead and put this in like so. Make sure you got enough distance over there. And I'm going to have this going in this direction like that. Right, so we have all three, and then we can take this one out like that. Once you've built your trough, you're going to take another block, another building block, again, different color code, and place it right there. Now what this is going to do is when you start stacking this in one direction, what happens is if you have this one over here, when it gets stacked, it's going to end up being placed over right beside here. So you're going to see that you have it built like so, right? If I put a comparator over here, you're going to see that it connects up to that one there. Now, I'm not really too concerned about that because you're only going to have one item at a time go through this particular filter. However, if you do have it like this, now you get a problem because whenever items start going through the neighboring filter, well, in that case, it's going to empty out this one over as well. So all the stuff from this filter is going to get emptied out. Sorry, from this filter over here is going to empty it out, and it's all going to go into your dropper, filler blocks and all. So if you add that, when you stack it using world edit, for instance, then what's going to happen is you're going to have something to the effect of this. And there you go, you'll see that it ends up cutting off your redstone wire on that side. Next is to make things a little bit nicer for our users. We're going to create the circuit that's going to make this redstone lamp turn on and off. To do that, we're going to take a block here, and we're taking advantage of this redstone torch over here, and we're going to take a redstone torch, place that over here, take another block of, in this case, spruce wood planks. So I'm using another different color for this one. And then if I want to, I can use spruce wood planks, or I can use slabs. I'm going to use slabs in this case, just to make sure that nothing is interfered with this, and have it go right around just like that. You want to make sure that you have slabs for these two, particularly over this particular chest, because if you put a full block over here like so, this chest is going to be locked, and also if it's locked, items cannot get into it from the hoppers. So we're going to make sure we use a slab here so that when you put the slab on top, now you can open the chest. Next, we're going to take a repeater, put it right into this block like so, and then take your redstone dust and just bring it right around into the repeater like that. So now when this chest is filled, this comparator turns on, then this redstone torch turns off. Not only does this part just deactivated, but also this redstone torch will turn on, and then this redstone dust will turn on, powering the repeater, which will hard power this block and power the redstone lamp and have it turn on, allowing the users to know that there is stuff, or in this case diamonds, in this chest. Next, we're going to add our maintenance area. So we've got all our functional parts done and ready. So let's go ahead and put our maintenance area. So we're going to take a slab, put that here, and also put a couple of slabs on this side over here and over here. Next, we're taking a solid purple block, and we're going to put that right up, all the way up to here. Then we're going to take our ladder, and we can't put that right over here because there's a redstone wire here. We don't want to change that. Instead, we're just going to put them right here. So in order to get up this ladder, you're going to have to drop a little bit in order to get on it. Okay, so now that we're up here, let's go ahead and take a look about getting a little bit of better foothold here. So we're going to right click here, right click there in order to get your glass on, and then break the glass below it. Then after that, we're going to take your another glass, put that right over here. And if we want to, actually, we can take this a little one step further, like that. And there we go. That's a little bit better. So then you can break the glass below it like that. and I just broke my ladder, and it's no problem. I can just put this back like that. So now we just go around like this, and boom, now we're up here. So now we gotta think how we're gonna get up over that section. We gotta try to see where we can get up as to whatever place we want to get up to. So in this case, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take another slab, and we're gonna stick it out like this, and there we go. Now we can inspect our water trough, and also we can take a look down here if we want to. Okay, if we come down here, then we're still okay because we can go ahead and check everything out like this. See, and we can jump up like that. This area is good. So now let's go down and see what else we can use in order to inspect this area further. So this is okay. We can inspect our dropper. Well, we're probably going to need a ladder over here because that's going to help us to get up here and view your hoppers over on this side, as well as the ones over here, just to check to see if you have any clogs or anything like that. It's good to be able to have access to those things. So that's why we're having the ladder over there. Finally, we have our optional furnaces. So for that, we're going to take our furnaces and put them like so, and we're going to take another furnace like here and put that like this. Now this is going to change things up a bit. So if you're doing it with the furnaces, and that you can't jump across over here anymore. So what we're going to have to do is find a way to get across over there. So we could do something like take a block over here, put that there if you want to, and then we can jump across, and now you're set for that. But if you want to get down, you got to have something here so you can get down. So I'm just going to go ahead and take a slab, and then we can jump on here, then jump up here, and then there we go. Now you can come across like that and go down here. Also, you're gonna need a furnace on this side just so that you can see over here. Now I would actually strongly suggest that you place it facing this way, like so. The reason being is, let's say for some instance somebody gets into the maintenance area and they say, oh, furnaces, I'm gonna go ahead and cook stuff in here. Well, you'll be able to see if you're cooking something if you have it facing towards you in an area that you can see from. Now it's much easier if you can actually see everything from this side, because if you just come up here, let's go down. Oh, one thing we forgot, this thing is blocking our way here, so that means we can't have that over there. Instead, we're going to have to find another way for that. So this is actually going to have to come off like so, and then we can jump across like this, and then we can jump like this. Okay, so that's good. So let's go ahead and have this like that. So then let's say you just come across from here and then we go down. So from here, or if I climb up like this, there, from here you can see your furnace over here, and if we look up, you can see the two furnaces over there. The only furnace you can't see is that one over there. Now we just have to fill in our filters. So to do that, let's get our filler blocks. So I'm going to go ahead and right click here. We're going to take your filler blocks, put 5 in each of these slots, and then you're going to take your items, in this case we're going to put your item messengers, diamonds needed, and then go 1, 2, 3, and there you go. You have your item set for that particular item filter. Next, we're going to set our actual item filter, this one over here. So this is the main filter, as the one we did before was the message filter. That's over here. So let's go to item sorter over here. The item filter for this one is going to have your 5 item blocks over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, your 5 fillers. There we go. And now you can stick your item in. So you have 1, 2, 3, and there you go. And it's set. So now you have your item set for that. I must remind you that before you go about setting the item filter here and here, if you're going to build multiple versions of this and you're going to be using world edit, make sure you leave setting these 2 filters, this one here and this one down here, for last. You don't want to do that right off the bat, just in case you end up duplicating any items, or just in case you end up breaking any type of server rules. It's much better if you just go ahead and just enter these stuff manually after you've done your stacking with world edit. Another thing you're going to want to do is make sure that you have filled this up with as much message as you can. So I'm going to go ahead and toss all my diamonds needed item messages in there so that you're set to go. And you all again, that's the same thing. Wait until you've stacked with world edit if you are using world edit before loading up any type of inventory blocks, such as the filter hopper over here, the one over there, or that dropper down there. Now we get to test out our system. So let's go ahead and put some items into the first filter. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have to add in a individual hopper over here so as to make sure that this is just for demonstration purposes so that I can fill this up. I'm also going to need to get myself a chest. I'm going to use a trap chest, and I'm going to stick that on the ends of these hoppers over here. And also this one can stay as is if I need to. So that's going to stay that way, and this one can also stay as is as well. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to dump all my items into this hopper over here and let it do its thing. So that thing is fully loaded, that hopper there. And as you can see, the item filter over here is working away. If you look at the filter hopper here, this item sorter, you'll see it's changing back and forth, and your items are going right through into this particular chest. Now this is going to take a while, so I'm just going to speed things up a bit. So as you can see, our redstone lamp has already been lit from the time that items started coming in here. I've gone ahead, and you can still see the items are coming in, but I've gone ahead and pre-filled these with more additional diamonds so that I could do a little bit more of a demonstration. This looks like it's run out, so I'm going to go ahead and add some more. So now our chest is completely full, and we've got basically, you can just go ahead and you can take stuff in and out of this, and there's nothing coming out of here. You can see there's still nothing coming out here. If you look in the back here and we look at our acacia wood section, the one that tells us if we've had too much, this section is not activating. So let's go ahead and put some more diamonds in there. So now we've got some backup going over here, and eventually it'll start backing up over here. Again, we'll have to try and speed this up a bit. So right now we can see there's nothing coming out into this chest over here. I've gone ahead and I've filled up this chest hopper over here, and this hopper has already started filling, and now you've got items coming into here. And if you look over here in the back of this chest, you'll see, well, look, that thing is activated and it's gone down here, and oh, our hoppers are no longer locked. If you go look over here or over here, you'll see items are now being drained out of this one chest over here. And you can see at the very top here how this particular one is changing. It's back and forth because you have items that are being pulled out of it and items that are being pushed into it. And that's how you end up with your items going off to your next system. So now we've seen how it drains excess items in order to get rid of overflow. So let's test it now to see. I've got all the items taken out if they've been drained completely, and I've put them in my inventory here, and I have only one stack of diamonds left. So now let's double check over here. Over here we've got nothing of the sort left over here, no messages or anything like that over here. So now we have this comes out, the light goes off, and then you have that little click noise, and if you go here, there is your message over here. If you pick that up, it says diamonds needed. That goes sent off to your other system, and then what happens is it comes back over here and goes back into the system and gets automatically loaded back in. So there we have it. That's the end of our tutorial for your very first ever fully automated networked item sorter. Well, that's it for today's tutorial. Thanks for watching. Please do like, subscribe, hit the notifications button, and also make sure that you leave a comment, or if you have a question, leave that in the comment section below. Just make sure to leave it clean. Join me next time when we'll be going over our tutorial on networked item silos. That is what the networked item sorter would connect to, using the messages and using your water troughs or hopper pipes or whatever it is you want to use to connect them up. You'll be using that in order to communicate between your item silos and your item filters or item sorters. So until next time, this is Check Defects signing off. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.